project that showed a healthy lung and a lung that has been of a smoker's lung. And they presented it and they just said, do you wanna ask me questions about what this is? And the people and they went out in the community, and they just shared with the community, and that was their action, just to educate others. And that's a big part of action. So, I'm gonna take you through, I can go a couple different ways, but I'm gonna have you kind of dive in. Okay, you doing enough?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have you just reflect right now. So this is what something I would have our students do. No, it's okay. Can you help me, Miss Black?
Absolutely.
Okay, this is me just being a teacher right now. I'm like thinking on the fly. So if you were to pick an issue that matters to you in the world, if you could write it on the paper, that would be great. What you would envision to be maybe something that you really care about that maybe is a problem. What's something that comes to mind? And you're exposed to the news a lot, so a big part of our job right now, we're gonna start in 1 week, is to expose them to different issues. So on your white piece of paper, if you could just write down an issue that you are concerned about, that would be great. This is what I would ask the students, why does that matter to you?
There's a lot of waiting kids trapped in the system that don't have homes.
Okay, so she had something called the cognitive shift. When she shared that, there was like passion in it. And we look for that in students. We say like, when you're sharing it, like you can tell that they care about it. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else? Yeah,
The wildfires in Australia,
and why do you care about it?
it's destroying the habitat of many different animals.
So, and that's current news. Do you hear about the carrots? So they just dropped a whole bunch of carrots for the animals just recently. So, and that's current, that's relevant. Kids love animals, that's always a topic every single year. We tend to have similar topics that come up. So thank you so much for sharing. So then, and the purpose of all of this, and during exhibition too, is for our students to be living through all the learner profiles. So as they're living through all of these learner profiles through the whole exhibition process, they're becoming thinkers as they're diving into their topic. They're inquiring, they're being principled, they have to work collaboratively, they also work independently, be open-minded, they're caring towards their topic, they're communicating with each other. There's also an element where after they've taken action and they've done the research, they have to present it. So this is an important date. I'm gonna have it, you guys can write it down, but you'll also get information. March 6th at 2 o'clock, we'll be presenting what the knowledge they have gained from exhibition. A big part of action is we scaffold them through steps of how they can take action on their issue. This will be a part of my job in team teaching with the teachers. So starting next Friday, I'm gonna do a lesson with the teachers and the 5th graders to tell them one more layer of exhibition. So one of the layers is gonna be just on action. I'm gonna expose them to different ways we can take action, and we're gonna brainstorm together how they can take action. Because we really want them to feel successful, and we want them to have choice, voice, and ownership in this process. I am a fast talker. Are there questions at this point? Okay, so your children, if they started in kindergarten all the way up to this point in Oxford schools, they've been exposed to the transdisciplinary things. And when I mentioned connections through learning, every single grade teaches a unit underneath all these things, and we put our curriculum in it. And what that does is we generally start off the year in a who we are unit. So we tell the students, like, of course they're gonna learn about math, reading, writing, social studies, science, word work. That's a part of their growth. At the same time, we're gonna ask them, like, who are you as a person? What's something you value? What's a cultural belief you have? What are traditions you have? And then we'll have them share with each other. We're establishing a community of learners because if students lean in on each other and they trust each other, magical things happen. So part of the IB philosophy too is saying, like, well, What are your beliefs? How is your social emotional well-being? We're checking in these kids when they come in. Like, I know when I was teaching, I'd look at the students and I can be like, what just happened? Did you have a bad morning? You know, we can tell right away. So we're constantly working on the social, emotional, and academic needs of kids the moment they walk in the door. And what's great about the IB philosophy too is it's supporting that and it's reminding teachers to do that. You happen to have teachers that it's just a part of their practice. But our district is saying that's something we value too. We hire teachers that have that mentality too. So our students' central idea, our kids are going to, they have something like the overarching umbrella of how they're gonna dig into it, and they're going to, developing agency in ourselves and others can change the world. Agency, if we break that down, is choice, voice, and ownership. So if they develop them believing in themselves and owning their choice, knowing they have a voice in it and owning their work, if they have this, they're gonna encourage others to do it and they will make a difference in the world. So they're gonna keep this central idea in mind during all of their work. There's so many different layers of this, but at the same time, they've been doing this kind of thinking for 6 years now. And now they're writing their own unit and diving into their own practice for 6 weeks. So I think that's why it's been so enjoyable for students too. I touched base on this already, but again, our students have the choice, once they go through their research, their action, their presentation, we're gonna give them a choice this year to do their presentation individually or collaboratively. In the past, we would try to pair them up so they each had their own voice in their project, but they would still work collectively. We're gonna give them the choice this time and say, if you wanna work independently, because some students do function better that way, we're gonna give them an option, and that's new this year. And this is the 10th exhibition I've ever done, we've never done that. So I'm excited, because some students may flourish if they work individually. Throughout the process, we focus on thinking, social communication, self-management, and research skills. We'll have kids reflect on, what thinking skills did you use today? What social skills did you use today? Through each week, they'll be reflecting on these. And these are, I tell students too, I go, these are life skills. I'm doing these skills at home. I'm doing these skills when I'm interacting with people. I mean, these are skills that will go above and beyond in the future for your students. There's a lesson I used to do, and I was gonna talk to our 5th grade teachers about this. I call it the helping hand day, and I just go through how to give a proper handshake and interact with an adult. Because it's a skill set that we still really value, and it's called helping hand day, and HELP stands for something. So the H is a firm handshake, the E is eye contact, the L is listen and learn something, and P is project your voice. So I teach them how to give a good handshake, because that's a skill, would you say, that is still very valuable?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I know we are moving more towards our technology, and maybe social skills have, maybe took a back seat at some point, but a handshake still matters. And I'm pretty sure, if I caught you at the right time, I shook your hand when you walked in. It's just a natural thing we do. Once our students have gathered this information, they're going to present this information. They can do this any creative way they want. Students have done a PowerPoint in the past. They've done a creative art project. They've done a play. They've done a talk show. We may have all the students share their learning process on a trifold and have that as a part of their presentation. We just want them to be creative and really own their journey and be able to demonstrate that. Something that we also talk about with them is having academic honesty, because we are going to be doing a lot of research, so we want to make sure, number one, that their research is relevant information, and number two, that they get 2 perspectives. Because, for instance, I didn't know at the time, this is years ago, what fracking was. This was a topic that a student wanted to know about, and I was like, you know what, I don't know, I don't have enough information, so I called my friend in Colorado, and she was affected by fracking where she was located. So I said, and the students were like, no, fracking is so bad for the water, and I said, do you know how many people have jobs because of fracking? We wanna expose them to both perspectives, because if you're very knowledgeable on a topic, you know both sides, and it makes you well-rounded in your knowledge base. So they need to know both sides, because if my husband was a fracker and he was bringing in income for that, I would have a different perspective on fracking. I'd also have a different perspective if my water was contaminated. So we make sure that when they're going through the research, that they have well-rounded information, because there's always two sides. There are some topics though that they're like, no, that's just wrong. And that is the case as well too, in some things. Okay, so where do you come in? Check in with them. Say, how's your process going? You can also support and encourage them through their own learning, and say, you know, maybe help them get articles, but this is your student's project, and it's happening in school. It's happening during their ELA time. So when they're doing their reading and writing, but at the same time, we really want them to own it. So when you come exhibition, you are like completely just in all of the work that they've done. If you are an expert, we're gonna send out an email to say, like, if you're an expert in any of these topics and you can help. That's how I got my nurse one time, because she said, you know, Rita, I only work with cancer patients, like primarily those who have been smokers. So like, she was the perfect person for the job. So if you feel like, yes, this is my job and this is how I can contribute, that would be great. And then we just really want you to celebrate in their learning process. We have had parents be mentors, so that is one more layer. Every single group has a mentor, and you can be a mentor. We also recruited, I went to the high school because we were there, and I love making connections with people. Our high schoolers right now have all been through exhibition, because we've been an IB school for quite some time. So I went into the leadership class and I said, we would love you guys to mentor our 5th graders. Can you come in? And it was hard for them to come here. They would be missing a lot of class in helping us. So what we decided is we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there for 3 weeks. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Yes, for exhibition. We're happy to have you. Okay, come, take a seat. So we're gonna have our students go to the high school and get mentored by our high schoolers that have been through exhibition. I've done this for the past 4 years, and it's been awesome, because our kids will get paired up with with students, high schoolers that have been through the topic too. So they're a really great resource. So you can let me know on that blank paper if you're interested in mentoring, but we also we're recruiting mentors from the high school, which has been a really great connection. And your students, when they're in the high school, they just love being around them. It's a really cool connection to make, and they're gonna be there pretty soon. Okay, when is this starting? This starts next week. We're just diving right in, and the kids they're gonna have a lot of questions, and they're gonna go through ups and downs through the process, but they have a lot of support, because you're here to support him, I'm here to support him. We have 2 fabulous 5th grade teachers to support him. I'm one. And we also have, we work a lot with our community, and we're gonna work with our high schoolers. So it's super exciting process. Okay, so if you would like to contact me, here's my information, Rita Flynn at oxfordschools.org. I'm gonna also put up my cell phone, because I am a talker. Even if you email me, I'd probably call you. I would say, what's your number? So, because I can kind of get to the root of how you wanna work together. So I'm gonna give you a Cliff Note version. Speech really quick of exhibition one more time. So they start with an issue they're passionate about. They're gonna research that issue through a primary resource and resources from articles, you can help with those. Then they're gonna take action on that issue, and we're gonna encourage them to just get in it and experience it. Those who have done action on poverty, we say, okay, you wanna do action on poverty? We're not just gonna collect food, let's go to the fish food drive. We have one right in our local community. And let's look at what a family gets, what a bag of food really looks like. And that's a real experience for them. Then they're gonna present their information for a community, and that includes you, at 2 o'clock on March 6th. So it's a Cliff Notes version. At this time, on the back of your white paper, I was actually gonna collect these, if you have information on there that you may need. So, I'm gonna give you a new paper, thank you, Mrs. Fleckel, and think about what you now know about exhibition. So I'm gonna have reflection. So a big part about the IB philosophy and something we believe in is the learning only happens when you reflect. We are going through our day, and if we don't take time to really like absorb what we've learned through reflection, then we may have not learned. So I'm gonna give you some time to give me a pulse of where you're at with what do you now know about exhibition on the white paper for me to collect. While you're doing that, I'm gonna show you a video that, to me, really lends itself to believe like what exhibition is.
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
Are there gonna be timelines provided for, students and the parents, so both of us can keep in track at the same time, like, next week is gonna be the start of it?
That's a great idea.
Can there be like, okay, from January, 20th to?
We're in a research mode.
Right, and then like February, blah, this is the action, this is the.
We do it for the kids, but we have them for the parents.
Okay.
And I'm going to do it for you. Let me write
Okay,
myself down. That's a great idea.
Just so we can coordinate, you
Yep.
know, and then,
I'm sure teachers will be sending something home, but like we can formalize that,
Yeah.
so it's mirroring and paralleling exactly what you're doing. Yeah, absolutely.
and then how do they present for the presentation? Is it multimedia, is it
Be whatever they
PowerPoints,
choose.
is it
It could be all of the above.
posters, okay. they
So
could
we're
make a
gonna expose
model
them
or-
to a whole bunch of different styles, and we'll say, what do you gravitate towards? Inherent. Any other questions?
You mentioned at one point that primarily all of the work will be done at school.
Yes.
So if they're not bringing stuff home that they're supposed to be working on, it's not necessarily a concern. Okay,
But I would, that's where that like check-in comes, like,
right.
how's it going? Do you need more research on this? It moves, we have 6 weeks, but it moves fast.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you say it was partners, or there can be more than 2 in a group, or?
So in the past, we've done like 2 to 4 in a group. We thought this year, let's say a particular student says, you know, I really wanna work individual in this, and no one wants my topic. Cause we'll try to pair them and be like, oh, you're doing something with pollution, and so are you, you're doing land, you're doing water, let's get together. You're doing something with health, and so are you. Why don't you two work together? We'll encourage them to say, you're doing similar topics, food. You're talking about GMOs in food, and you're talking about food waste. That would, it lends to be a very authentic presentation for you and
That's how
for
you pair them up
students.
though, rather than going,
Yep.
I wanna be with Johnny or whatever?
Yeah, so we don't even let them, they fill it out on a card, and they're not in dialogue, and they give us their top 3. So then we know, so they're not, yet we want it to be interest-based, and we tell them, it's not gonna be fun if you're with your friend and you're doing your topic just with your friend. It doesn't work, it's not as, a rich experience. So it's topic-based. And that's life experience. We all work with people that maybe aren't our best friends, but we learn how to use those skills to collaborate together. So we're always pushing on that throughout the process, like, these are life skills that are gonna help you in the workforce someday. Any others? All really good questions. and the questions can keep coming,